Alright, it's Kenny Cooper here. Welcome back to my channel. Probably already seen a bunch of other guys' videos on leaves. Again, you guys know me as the guy with the big yard. So typically with the big yard, you have big trees. You got a lot of leaves. Can't just blow them all into a pile and take care of them quite as easily. I'm going to show you what I do to get rid of my leaves and give you a few other options outside of what I do. So try to give you a little bit of footage on it. Here's the patio. It's completely covered. I'm gonna blow them out into the yard and show you what I do after I get them to where I can get to them with the lawnmower. Alrighty, here's the option we're going to be using today for cleaning up our leaves. I've said it before, get to borrow stuff from my dad. This is his mower I'm going to be borrowing. I do have a leaf collection system for mine also, but mine is buried in my garage. His is already hooked up and ready to go, so a lot easier to use his. I'm going to be using a Laser Z 60-inch cut. There's the hopper on it. I couldn't tell you the exact volume that it holds. Works pretty good. The leaves are wet. Gonna have to mow a little bit slower with them or to clog up the chute. Here's mine. This is why it's easier to borrow his. Mine's buried all the way back here in the garage. I gotta move all this stuff to get it out. Mine has to get bolted onto it. Mine actually pulls behind it. It mounts on top of the mower and it has its own set of wheels. Mine, you go a little bit slower with it. On his, it's just pull this one pin out. You kind of lift up and swivel, and it pops right off of this pin, and you can take it off and just use it as a regular mower. So this is a faster setup than mine, but again, it holds about half as much. But say his is already all set up and ready to go. Take a quick walk. Show you why I use this instead of blowing them into a pile and moving them around. My leaves are kind of everywhere throughout the yard. It would take quite a while trying to put them on a tarp, drag them to a certain area. There are too many wet, heavy leaves right now. This was kind of a screwy year. The leaves started falling, then we rain, then we got snow. So we had snow piled on top of the leaves. The leaves kept falling while there was still snow on the ground, so there's way too many on the ground to mulch them up. That's usually what I try to do, is just mow them over multiple times and mulch them up, but here's the area. You guys have seen it before, right off my patio. Got all these leaves. That's a area where I had our little blowjob competition. Got those leaves. This comes all the way around the driveway. There's a fair amount of them. Got just a little bit over here. I probably won't use the bagger on that. I'll just mulch those up. We've got this larger tree. It's not huge. It's probably 40 feet, but all of its leaves are on the ground right now. We got quite a few. Then we've got this maple tree. It's a pretty good sized tree, probably 45, 50 feet tall, but it's also that wide. So this is where we have a lot of leaves to take care of. And all the way around here, we got to take care of all these. Then this is area that I would normally just run them over multiple times and mulch them up, but there's way too many. It's pretty much solid. Got them on this side of the driveway too. You know, they're pretty much everywhere. So, show you a little footage of me mowing them up. And I'll talk about some other options you guys have besides using a bagger. Alrighty, well, hopefully the wind's not getting too loud and you can hear me, but that's probably plenty of footage of you watching me mow up some leaves. Say that's the setup I'm using, but again, there are more options. You don't have to go out and buy that. If you do want to buy one of those and it's kind of out of your budget, talk to one of your dealers nearby that sells those. A lot of your larger landscape companies are on a set program. They'll put a certain number of hours or own them for 2 or 3 years and they automatically trade them in and get a new one. So tell your dealer that you'd like to find a used one. If you can find one where it's got reasonable number of hours on it, there's still nothing wrong with it, and you can get it for a fraction of the cost, they should be more than willing to help you out. They want to sell that guy a new mower and they want to sell you his old one, so they'll help you out on trying to locate one if they can. Some of your other options, you can use a tarp, preferably a landscaping tarp. It's not just your normal blue ones you see. They're definitely a lot more expensive, but they're durable. You can drag them along on the ground. Sticks and whatnot aren't going to poke holes in them or anything like that. If you're going to use the tarp route, you can just drag it around. If you got a big yard like I do, you're definitely going to have a big mower that you can rig something up to pull the tarp around, and you can rake your leaves right onto it or use your blower to try to blow them onto it. You got some options. I have seen one guy, if I ever see him using it again, I think I might stop and talk to him. He uses a lawn sweeper without the bag on the back of it, and he drags a tarp around behind him. He's got probably at least 20 big mature oak trees. He's got an unbelievable amount of leaves to clean up. And he drags that thing around, and the sweeper just tosses them all onto a tarp for him. There's probably definitely some engineering involved. Probably need some kind of a piece of pipe across the front of it to keep it from folding under, and get some chains or ropes cut to just probably the perfect length to drag it along behind you and keep it straight in line with you and whatnot. But you know, if you want to get into doing a little bit of engineering, you can probably come up with some good systems, so you don't need to spend the money on one of these. Again, it's windy here. Sorry about that. Got my mic on order finally, but show you what it looks like after I'm done here. You know, we got pretty much all the leaves. There's still more to fall. Say I usually try to mulch them up. I already mulched up a little bit less than what was on the ground, but I mean, you see it. I got a little here and there. I'm not too worried about. I'll get them next time. Well, I hope that helps some of you out. If not, I hope you just enjoyed watching me do it. Something new to see. As always, if you could subscribe, like, hit that thumbs up, leave me a comment down below. I gotta go mow the rest of the yard now. I'll be using my mower, not my dad's. Mine stripes a little bit nicer than his, and I don't need to bag any of the rest. All the light areas I can just mulch up. So, you guys have a good day. See you next time.